Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Amy Joy Presents episode 1. I just wanted to put it out there and let you know that we're going to try to put this out there every Friday at 6 p.m. We're going to start with an entrepreneur series. There are some people in my circle of friends who, of course, I really love and who are really rocking it out there. So we really want to celebrate them and let them come on and tell us who they are and what they do and why it's important that we maintain our mental and spiritual and physical health. And really, we want to dive into what is well being and what is the process of becoming, because we're all becoming something, whether it's positive or negative, hopefully positive, but we're all on our way somewhere. And if we can pull people along and have them help us out a little bit and really reinforce to us the things that we're doing that are going well and maybe improve on those things that are not going so well, that I think is really the point of this podcast. So over the last couple of weeks, I have been revamping things. My of course, physical, mental, and spiritual well-being, what that looks like and what that means on my end as well. I am what you might call a serial entrepreneur. I tend to dive into a lot of things, and most of them go pretty well. So I just continue to do it, and it's fun. It is so much fun. I am a public speaker, an author. I just opened my first publishing company, Little Daisy's Publishing Company. And it's really my purpose and goal to transform, inspire, motivate, and educate people. Because when we have all of the tools, there really does become a point where our lives connect and we can take what we know or what somebody else knows and develop something new and innovative. And I think that's how community works. Yeah, whether it's, in person or through video or through Audible or whatever those things look like, connecting with community, I think, helps us grow. So that is the point of this podcast. It is called Amy Joy Presents because I ran out of creative juices and figured that was the simplest way to sort of put everything under the umbrella of Amy Joy. And it's easy to remember and spell. So there you have it. That's Amy Joy Presents in a nutshell. I'm also a real estate agent in the state of Michigan. So if you're looking to buy or sell, let me know. Market's a little wonky right now. We might talk about that as we go along as well. Our first guest actually is going to come on next week. Her name is Sarah Villanueva. Yeah, I think I got that right. And she is a corporate trainer, motivational speaker, keynote speaker. She's amazing. And, I want to know her better. I've known her for years, and she is just really rocking it out there. And I'm excited to have her on the show next week. I want to let you know about a few things that are coming up as far as classes and things like that. So for those of you who know me, this is going to be a no-brainer. For those of you who probably don't know that I teach on human trafficking, identification, response, childhood trauma, dissociative disorders, and of course, expressive therapy. So prevention and intervention. I often teach education professionals, law enforcement, nonprofit agencies, so foster care agencies, things like that, and advocacy agencies who work with victims of human trafficking and childhood abuse. So those are some of the things that I do. And when we talk about some events coming up, a lot of that's going to be, surrounded around human trafficking. So October 8th, if you're in a different state, I apologize, but you're more than welcome to come here to Michigan. In fact, October 8th, we do have someone coming from out of state, at least one person, maybe more. So October 8th, we're having a full day human trafficking full day human trafficking, identification, and tactical response training. So that'll be at the Great Lakes Chiropractic and Movement Center in Flint with Dr. John Morey. So he's amazing. We have teamed up with several events together, and I do the human trafficking piece of it, and he does the tactical response, and it's just wonderful. So I will post all the links in the comments of the video. And I'll also post links to our website, so humantraffickingeducationseminars.com and amyjoypresents.com. And that'll give you a list of all the events coming up as well. November 1st, we're going to do a 3-hour seminar at EXP Petterfee Candleberry Realty Team in Grand Blanc, Michigan. And that's from 9 to noon on November 1st. And then November 12th, and this is super awesome because this is our pilot program. We're actually offering a 3-hour writing workshop. So for those of you who are aspiring writers, you've always wanted to write, or you've started writing and you don't know how to keep going, and you just need a collective community to really just help you get it out there. You need a structure and a plan and some of the basics. Just come on out. It's going to be at the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Grand Blanc from 9:30 to 12:30 on November 12th. And we plan on having, of course, the basics on creative writing, nonfiction, a little bit about fiction, but we're mostly going to focus on the nonfiction, memoir, autobiography type of work, and things that'll sort of get your juices flowing, get you going, things that will help you maintain your writing practice. And then what does it look like, the whole process? What does it look like to find an editor or do the editing? What stages of editing, need to be done? And then how do you publish? Do you go with a traditional publisher? Do you self-publish? What is the process there? So that is going to be, again, November 12th from 9:30 to 12:30. And I hope to see you there. There is a cost associated with all of these things, but materials are provided. And of course, you get community, you get the education, and hopefully you come away motivated, inspired, and transformed. And we see that often in our seminars. We actually see people who come back and say, you know what, I was able to tell my story for the first time. Many of our seminars, especially the human trafficking seminars and conferences that I do, I have survivors in the audience, and they often come back and let me know, hey, you changed the way I thought about this, or you gave me the courage to get up and say these things and to confront this. You gave me the tools I needed to go and seek mental health, a professional. So it's really important that we recognize all of these great things that do happen through these events. So I promised you, we're going to kind of segue a little bit. I promised you last time that we would talk about my journey a little bit. I told you I had started on this clean eating thing. For those of you who know me, you know that I've struggled with weight my entire life. It has been a mental, emotional drain and issue from the time I was very little. So there were moments where food was very scarce, and I would actually go to school and steal food from other kids because it just wasn't available. And there were times when there was so much food, it was like a celebration. It was like, okay, here, this is the way I love you. And that's how I grew up. Okay, well, food is love, and there's not enough of it. So I grew up just with this scarcity sort of mindset. And of course, stress and hormones growing up the way that I did, my hormones have been out of whack for, really ever. So my system doesn't work like a typical system. 20 years ago, I had a gastric bypass, and it did work, and I lost just a ton of weight, but then slowly started to creep back up there. And nothing really in my eating habits had changed, but my hormones didn't change either. So my metabolism was the same, whether I was, in my size 8 or 16s. And, from the gastric bypass or whatever, what did happen after the gastric bypass was I became very malnourished because I didn't then take in the nutrients I needed to, with most of my stomach gone. So it's just been a struggle ever since then. I'm going to blame the last 20 pounds on the whole pandemic thing. I'm just saying it's the COVID-20. I think we all caught it. So I'm going to give myself a little grace for that. However, I did start on this plan that a friend had given me, and it was a great plan. It probably does work for many, many people. It was a lot of protein shakes, which I was used to, consuming. It was fresh vegetables and fruit, and not a ton of fruit. And there was, oatmeal and eggs and lean meats and that kind of thing. The problem was I almost immediately felt sick and bloated and gassy and awful. And about 2 weeks in, I got to the point and I was like, something needs to give, because even the healthy plan isn't working with my system. So I had done some research. I came across the whole Dr. Grundy thing. He's the dude with the extremely long infomercials. and then really never gets to the point, but he does in the books. So if you buy his books, and I'll just tell you, the Plant Paradox was the one that I did get, and it comes with like a plan, but I get everything on Audible because I don't read a ton because I'm constantly in the car. So Audible is my friend. So, but what he was saying made sense to me. So what I did is I stripped everything back to clean eating. Everything is farm raised, whether it's the eggs, the chicken, it's wild caught fish. So I took out all of the dairy and replaced it. Of course, I've been drinking almond milk for quite some time, but no more yogurt or ice cream or anything like that. Wasn't a big fan to begin with, but cheese was my big sort of Achilles heel. So I've really been struggling with the cheese. I really want it, but I know it doesn't feel good when I eat it. So the last 8 days, I have been on this clean eating plan, and I have lost 6 pounds. And I'm not going to get too excited too quickly because 6 pounds on me is not much, to be honest. And I don't know if it's a fluke or not. So I never know. I'm just like, okay. And what happened was I stripped it down to very few foods. I was eating just, eggs and using coconut oil for almost everything, and ghee. I do like ghee. I found a noodle alternative made out of mushrooms, which is fantastic. I really, really like it. So that was helpful. Lots of vegetables, lots of leafy greens, lots of fish. And it's been great because these are all the foods that I already love. So it wasn't a big deal to move over to these foods. And I immediately started to feel better. I had more energy. I felt like I could move better. So I haven't noticed really I still have a lot of back pain, but that's, I think, just, maybe that'll go away over time, but we'll see. So I decided this morning, I was like, okay, so the plan is to sort of gradually move some foods back in to see what works. Because I think we need to be intuitive with our body and intuitive with our diet, what works, what doesn't, what makes us feel good, what makes us feel crappy. So this morning I thought, okay, basmati rice from India is on the list of, okay foods to maybe insert once in a while. So I made the rice this morning. And I like, think I'm weird, but I like rice like fried in with my eggs over easy, right? So I'll just put rice on the bottom of the pan and then raw eggs on the top, cover it up and let it cook for a few minutes, and it's super good. So I made the rice this morning and it tasted really good, but almost immediately my head got fuzzy, like you have sinuses or whatever. I immediately didn't feel good. I was tired. I needed to lay down. My stomach was kind of a mess. I thought, you know what, basmati rice is off the list again because it doesn't work with my system. It was very, very evident and clear, but I don't think that would have happened if I hadn't stripped it back to, the way that I had. So I just want to kind of throw that out there. I'm going to sort of bring in updates here and there because I promised you I would take you on this weird journey with me. When it comes to the podcast, we're actually going to, again, we're going to start with entrepreneurs, and I think we're going to move our way into like helping professionals and artists, and we'll just work our way through, groups of people, and let me know what topics and people and professions interest you, and we will go from there. And I think it's going to be super fun. So I'm going to do my best to keep on track and keep on schedule. So let me know if anything sounds interesting to you. We might try to do a couple of live sessions, and that could be fun too. So anyway, my dog's getting restless, so let me know. And I, again, will post all the event information in the comments, and please subscribe. It's the best way to keep up with what's happening. So I hope you all have a great day and a great weekend. And I hope you find some time to insert a little transformation and motivation and inspiration and a little education in your lives this weekend. All right, everybody have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.